Thank you so much for staying with WTOC on air. Dave just finished his live cut-in, but we didn't want to interrupt the RBC Heritage final round of play, and we want to talk about our severe weather threat. So let's start with the tornado warning in Glenn County and northeastern Camden County. Zoom in here and show you that big portion, including Brunswick. Let's dive down to street level here. So if you are along the Golden Isles Parkway, 1795, Fancy Bluff, Hickory Bluff, St. Simon's Sea Island. Notice that, let's see, Jekyll Island right there included in this. So please be careful if you are out and about and if you know anybody in that vicinity. I do know a couple of people who do live on St. Simon's Island. So Tammy Marie, if you are watching right now and you can help me out, kind of explain what's happening down there and what you're seeing safely from your window. I know you're a little weather fanatic down there and always helping us out. That would be great. If anybody in the Glencoe area, so if you live along 17 near the Federal Training Center, that's where this tornado warning is. Let's get to our Safe Touch Security's First Alert Live radar, and we'll zoom in here and show you exactly what we're looking at. And I zoomed in a little too much, Jamie. So sorry. Let's get back to our watches and warnings. Get a little crazy in here. We get a little excited and breathless. I'll go ahead and take care of the controls myself. So we're watching this area in the Tallman region, Darien, but this right here along Piney Bluff. And Dave's got another version of the radar up next to me. And are you seeing any sort of wide rotation? Why the National Weather Service out of Jacksonville would issue this kind of warning?
No, we'll go ahead and put on the. Do you got the velocity on there? Can you turn on the velocity?
Yeah.
Coming out of Jacksonville, hopefully, if you got that one coming out of Jacksonville. Yeah. And that's going to show that we have a little bit of that rotation. It doesn't look like it is a very tight, strong rotation out there, but we are certainly getting a little bit of some very broad rotation. And right now, again, this is a...
So Dave's looking at this right here, this right here?
Yeah.
Just south of Brunswick?
Yeah, it's very broad.
Right.
And we're looking at more of what we call a Doppler radar indicated rotation, meaning we don't have confirmation on the ground
Let's go ahead and take that
we do have anything
circled.
coming down from the ground, from that cloud. But at any time, there certainly could be something rotating down in there. That's why we want to make sure that if you are under a tornado warning and you're down over here where Jamie's showing you right now, near the Hickory Bluff area, getting out of parts of Camden County, now getting into southern areas of Glenn County, kind of just to the southeast of the Brunswick area, you need to be in your safe shelter. You have a tornado warning in effect for your particular area, which goes through that 3:30 time frame.
So this is what we call a couplet. This is why I've circled this. Let me delete the circle and go back right here from about Piney Bluff, kind of a broad yin-yang, if you will. So these winds define it right there. These winds are heading toward the radar.
The green is going towards, the red is going away.
Me. And these are opposing wind factors right here. And then you get that twisting, and then you could see something drop from the...
Possibly,
right. So that's pretty broad. We're looking for, we're talking about a 2-mile long kind of area of rotation, 2 miles wide maybe, area of rotation. But could see that as it's moving. So that's the velocity that we're looking at. Let me go back to the actual radar. And let me go, actually, so Tammy Marie just reacted to my Facebook photo. And if Tammy Marie, you're listening, would love to know what you're seeing out there on St. Simon's. It's great to get that visual kind of confirmation of what we're seeing and what other people are seeing, especially on the ground. And I say that, and I know that sounds a little, say dog, see dog, but when I was up with the hurricane hunters, they have all this fancy instrumentation on their plane, and the guy who is tracking the, it's not moving. Sorry, the guy who's actually tracking the hurricane, he's like, my best view is looking out the window. So to help us kind of help that story, if anybody happens to be in the Glynn County area, I mean, this is some heavy rainfall, just looking at it. Let me put some lightning on here. Lots of lightning associated with this. So, and it's pretty dark out there. We've gotten a lot of pictures from viewers. I don't know if you want to, a lot of pictures from viewers explaining what they're seeing out there. Lots of mammatus clouds, which is indicative of severe weather. Those popcorn clouds that kind of bubble from the sky. 45 lightning strikes within that vicinity in the last 15 minutes. This could possibly be, maybe very dark, possibly rain-wrapped. That's why I think the National Weather Service out of Jacksonville would issue that, because of the heavy rainfall, and maybe not very easily seen if it does come down.
It's not just that. There's a couple little areas that we're keeping our eyes on here. The one moving out of Camden County, that's the one storm with the tornado warn storm. But we also have that one storm moving north of now, moving almost out of the Brunswick area in Glynn County region. That's to the west of Interstate 95. That is a severe thunderstorm warning as well. And then the other storm, we had the warnings here moving out of Liberty County. It's racing out to the northeast fairly quickly right now. And I believe that storm is actually probably moving about 45 to 55 miles per hour. So, and that's got a lot of wind associated with it as well.
Right, so this severe thunderstorm warning for portions of northwest McIntosh, Long, a good chunk of Liberty, including Hinesville and Richmond Hill in Bryan County. It's moving at 50 miles an hour. So that's a forward motion of this storm with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. With these severe thunderstorms that we've had previously, with the warn storm that we had in Statesboro, Dow Kennedy got a picture in from a friend. There is a tree down in Brooklet along a road that starts with an A that it's escaping me right now. That when we were on Facebook Live earlier, there was some power outages reported. So that could happen. I mean, we're talking about 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that forward motion of moving. The clouds were moving really impressively throughout the day today.
Let's see if we got an update down there into the Glynn County one with that tornado warning. Again, that tornado warning still into effect for now moving out of the Camden County area, basically for really coastal areas of Glynn County. That is in effect right now until 3:30 p.m. And that's the warning. Let's go over and take a look at the actual radar, which shows you where that is. And then you can see exactly as we zoom on down into that area. Again, right along the border of Camden County and Glynn County is where that is, right over to the east of the Piney Bluff area. That's where we have that rotation, which is moving into that region.
A bit of a timestamp on St. Simon's Island. So this warning lasts until 3:30. This is moving at 50 miles an hour. So if you have not yet sought shelter on St. Simon's, that should be really impacting you at 3:18. So hopefully you can take your phone with us in your closet or your bathroom and just stay kind of safe and kind of bundled up until this storm passes. But Brunswick has not seen the worst of it just yet. It's just now getting to the city, even though it's kind of been raining really heavily along 17 and the Golden Isles Parkway. Let me go back to the velocity here. So
yes, I was going to say, check velocity on that.
So it still looks pretty broad.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing that right along 520 and down into the US 25 right now. The bulk of that, again, really appears to be out of the Camden County area. That's very large. It looks like it's probably more out in this general area right here, where we're seeing a lot of that rotation. But again, we're not having that tight couplet, so that's definitely some good news. But we're still seeing some broad rotation there. And any time that storm maybe strengthens a little bit, it could certainly drop an isolated tornado down from there as it gets closer towards the St. Simon's Island area. Northern Jekyll, I think Southern Jekyll, you're going to be just fine. Northern Jekyll will watch that. St. Simon's Island, it looks like. And as we see behind us, Jamie, that's where we can kind of see what you're drawing, because we're kind of blocking.
No, so that's what's going on Facebook right now. So they're seeing us in a little
good.
box.
We're seeing in boxes right now.
So I just wanted to show them what we're looking at. So the green and the red, those two opposing wind fields. This is what we're looking at. Two opposing wind fields, and once those two meet and kind of dance around a little bit, but Dave was saying it's very broad.
And that's that last scan, which is updated right there, is certainly looking much better out there as far as seeing the rotation still remaining rather broad. We're not seeing any very tight couplets out there. So you still have a tornado warning, so we still want you to be aware of that. If you're hearing sirens down there, if you guys have tornado sirens down in that region, they're going to be going off because you had the tornado warning through 3:30 p.m.
This is the most lightning we've seen, other than some of the storms in Wayne County 2 hours earlier, but this is the most lightning that we have right now throughout the coastal empire and low country. Let me give you a broad stroke view of what we're looking at. And so good news is, guys, if you're watching us, maybe from Statesboro and it's still raining and it's still kind of yucky and kind of got that greenish tint to the sky out there and you're like, oh, I don't know if we're done yet. We have since been lifted with the tornado watch in Scriven, Bullock, Candler, Evans, Tatnall, Toombs, Montgomery, Emmanuel. This is really hard to remember off the top of your head when it's not on a map. But and south, you see that the shaded in kind of a sandy color.
Yeah,
that's a wind advisory. So it's still pretty windy out there. As I was explaining last night, if you missed the 11 o'clock news, we're under that wind advisory. And if I took some of the tornado watches off, you'd probably see that Beaufort County, even though not a lot of activity has happened out there, is under that wind advisory as well. Let's go back and talk about Brunswick and the Golden Isles and St. Simons, which is under a tornado watch, and that's warning, excuse me, and that's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And so radar, really heavy rainfall just now starting on St. Simons. It was pretty light to begin with, but now just kind of jumped over onto the island.
Do we have the alerts turned on over here? There we go. Yeah. So we got that. So again, there's the red. So there's still that tornado warning, which is going to be in effect for that area. So if you, again, as Jamie just mentioned, if you're watching St. Simons Island, really east of the Brunswick area, it looks like that storm is going to move more to the east of your region as it's getting over near Georgia 520 right now. That's the area of concern right now where there's very broad rotation. Again, this is a Doppler radar indicated tornado. So we're not seeing an actual confirmation of any rotation, but that warning is still going to be out there because there is a potential for that to form one at any time, although the storm right now does appear to be weakening just a bit, according to the echo tops I'm looking at right now, which appear to be rising. And again, according to the velocity out there, we're not really seeing a lot of that very tight couplet, meaning the red and the green right next to each other. It's very broad circulation out there.
And as long as this continues to move out to sea, that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be great if it continues. It's so close. Again, it's east of Interstate 95, but we've been watching these storms, and this is the main area we've been seeing is that whole line now, which is still prompting the tornado watch, mainly getting into the I-95 area. So if you're watching in a lot of our inland areas, it looks like your severe threat is over, although your rain is not done. You'll still get some rain, but your severe threat is winding down. It's really more for the coastal areas here, which we're keeping our eyes on.
So zooming out and just kind of get an update of everybody out there and maybe wondering if the worst is over for you. And, Vidalia, the tornado watch is done, though light rain is still falling. It looks like it's moving out of Tatnall County, just hanging around in Glenville for probably the next hour and a half or so. Heavy rainfall in Hinesville, Ludowici. Let me put those lightning. So the bulk of the lightning for the Warren storm down Darien and south of Brunswick, where we do have that tornado warning. We're talking about now. All right, so if you're watching us, and go ahead and take the lead on the Safe Touch and the radar and stuff, and I'm going to start answering some questions because we're Facebook Live and I haven't answered any questions. Again,
so not only is this the area we were talking about in Richmond Hill, and that was the warning which we had earlier that really came out of the Wayne County region and the Long County. That storm continued to move into parts of the Liberty County region, now up into Bryan County. So we'll put the alerts on there. We still have...
Faye Estelle Rodriguez wants to know, does Jessup have a tornado coming if it's coming from the south?
We don't have anything over there in Jessup, but Jessup, I think you're going to be okay.
Cool.
Let's get out there here and
sell over Bloomingdale now. Yes, you do, Lori, with some lightning.
Put on the rain out here. So again, Jessup, you are pretty much to the east now, or west, I should say, of that main line of some showers and storms, which is getting into the now just getting into western areas of Chatham County all the way down the I-95 area into the Brunswick region. That's the main line which we're really concerned about. We're seeing still the possibility of some strong gusty winds. a severe thunderstorm possible, and also a tornado watch is still in effect.
Brittany Lynn, Jessup, I'll say is okay. We've got heavy winds and heavy rain and gusty winds, but no warnings for strong to severe thunderstorm warning for Jessup, and no tornado warning. Chris Barrett specifically wants to know Chatham County, which we're just about to get active. So right now we're getting some heavy rainfall, 95, 204 corridor, Fort Argyle, Bloomingdale. My friend in Bloomingdale said that Lori said she's got a cell kind of moving toward her house right now. No rain over Wilmington, absolutely. So
no.
Islands, including Hilton Head and everybody in the low country. Let's get a little low country update, Dave. Maybe squall something out for him. I've got a lot of questions for the low country.
There's not much out there right now. We're getting some showers right now over towards the Deerfield area, west of Interstate 95, north of Hardyville. We're getting some showers right there. And let's see if we can put this. We'll go ahead and put Hampton on there. Okay. We'll put this in a little loop. And you can see that is moving through very quickly, Martin, right there.
It's heading northeast, Martin.
Let me just slow this down a little bit here. Put that into
Sorry, Lisa.
snow.
It's her birthday. Happy birthday from the WTOC First Alert Weather Team.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, it wasn't the nicest day out there. But you see the showers working in from the Deerfield area. You're talking about over in Hampton. You had some rain showers, but right now nothing severe into your particular area. Now, you do have some heavier showers over in Oliver. I think the main severe threat for the Estill area, pretty much over with right now. It's really more along the line of these showers here as we get down into this area here. We're still watching this one closely, moving over 204. We'll put a little tracker on that as it's about to cross over I-16. And let's see if we can put a little squall on there. We don't have it on that one.
I don't have the drop down, but you can.
So we'll do it down here and this one.
Pembroke, you are still under a tornado watch.
And this is really moving
Bryan
up to
County
the north.
is not out of the watch.
Only one city popping up here into the Meldrum area. That's what we're going to be seeing as it gets into Meldrum by about 3:23. But really anybody into parts of Effingham County.
If you live on Highway 30, Midland Road, if you live maybe even on Courthouse Road,
Eden,
Chadwick
Guyton.
Jones. Yeah. 17, anybody along 17 between 30 and Highway 80.
Cities are popping up on that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Belfast River, no wind. Oh, okay.
Here's another one that's actually we're watching over here into the Hinesville area. This one is still pretty good, too, into the Gum Branch area.
Just heavy rain in Statesboro.
Basically, northern areas of Fort Stewart. We're approaching Interstate, or Georgia 119, I should say, getting some of the heavier rain. Let's get back over and see if that warning is still going on and what it looks like down for the warned storms now. And that's this stuff down here into parts of, here it is. Really, it's moved out of, let me take a large view. Here's Camden County, but the warned storm was right here, this little cell.
It's possible, Emily.
As it moved north now, and it's into parts of eastern areas of the Glenn County region. So if you're watching along Georgia 520, here's where we're watching that little shower and thunderstorm, which prompted the tornado warning. And it's now really in this particular area.
Storm, if you want to go for velocity.
In this particular area right there. And
right there, you had your cursor over it, storm.
This?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, so that's actually looking more promising right now. I'm not seeing much in the way of a lot of activity over in that region as far as...
Chris, it's possible. We're talking about Chatham County.
The green and the reds, it's still very broad out in this general area here. Down in this general region here is what we're looking at. But we don't have a lot of the greens and the reds coming together in a very tight couplet. So that's definitely some good news. But it's certainly going to be having a lot of the rain moving into that area.
So Julie Davis said, oh, you started talking about Bluffton and Hilton Head. So it looks
nothing
to be
out there right now.
down at this point, but where it is slowing down, it's obviously causing some issues with that tornado warning in Brunswick. So Bluffton, Hilton Head, yes, you're going to get some rain, but you know what? We're still under a tornado watch for your county, for Beaufort County, until 7 o'clock. Now, they've been chipping it away from the west, but it's going to be a while, I think, maybe another 45 minutes before
at least
45 minutes before you really see anything feel anything in Bluffton, Hilton Head. I mean, it may not even be until 4:30 till you feel the
the storms, you can see those as they approach the coastal
Yeah.
areas, really began to weaken a little bit, and now they're starting to re-intensify a little bit across our southern areas. That's some of the warnings which we're seeing down into Glenn County and into the McIntosh County region, right along the I-95 area. And that activity is eventually going to begin to continue to work its way out to the northeast. So once that line moved on through, that's the severe weather threat. So all the counties which have been excluded now from the tornado watch, that's because the line has already moved on through. Now you can still see a lot more in the rain behind it, but that's not severe as of right now, but it could still be locally heavy. We'll keep that rain chance going through the evening hours.
I see Jason's concern. We're working on the aesthetically pleasing aspects of our crawl. He wants the alert bar moved a little bit down for the RBC tournament. We're going to work on that for you. Glenville tornado. No tornado in Glenville. In fact, Tattnall County has been moved out of the tornado watch, I believe.
Yes, you see most of Tattnall County is just seeing some light showers, heavier showers more towards the Glenville area. But as far as the watches and warnings, there it is right now.
You're welcome, Julie.
And you can see that is, I'm going to take off that wind advisory right now because we're dealing with more of the tornadoes threat in here. So there it is. There's a tornado watch in effect. And it still goes through 6 p.m. if you're watching into really along coastal areas there along the I-95 area, extending into Long County and up to the Low Country. Your tornado watch goes through that 7 p.m. hour.
Let's talk about, let's do some squall lines for Chatham County.
I want to say one good news before we start. That tornado warning has been allowed to expire, but we still have that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, we weren't seeing a lot of the tight rotation, the tight couplet, but we're still going to get some strong gusty winds. We can easily see winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour, along with some very heavy rainfall. And the potential for seeing a little bit of hail is certainly going to be in there. Let's click on this and see what we have. This is the tornado or severe thunderstorm warning now. This came out as of 3:23, so it just came out about 2 minutes ago. In effect until 4:15, severe thunderstorm was located near the Waverly area, or 7 miles southwest of Dock Junction, moving very quickly to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. And they're talking about the hazards being gusty winds and maybe some penny-sized hail. Yeah, so again, some hail is certainly going to be possible along with the winds and some very heavy rainfall.
The National Weather Service in the chat just talked about we don't have a warning for Chatham County, but with the line coming out of Bryan County, they said strong storms possible. So basically a special weather statement for Chatham. And a lot of people on Facebook are asking about Chatham. So can we maybe do some squalls for...
Let's go ahead and we'll put this just in the last hour.
And I'm going to go ahead and tweet out with the WTOC Twitter account.
And you can see
that tornado warning for Brunswick is now gone.
Right, that's good. Allowed to expire. So here's the Savannah region. And what we're seeing is some of the heavier showers now just getting into parts of western areas of Chatham County. But the bulk of the line right now is still just to the long and west of the I-95 area. And it's working more to the northeast right now. So it's going to take a little while before it makes that big push totally eastward. So that's why it hasn't quite yet made it for a lot of areas if you're watching east of Interstate 95, including Savannah, Hilton Head, Tybee Island. Richmond Hill hasn't seen much in the way of that activity now, but we're still getting some very strong storms embedded in there, and that's what we're seeing right now. So if you're watching here in through right along the border of Effingham and Chatham County, you're into the Eden area, Guyton, Georgia 30, seeing the showers right now. This will continue to work its way to the north.
So
we'll put a tracker on there for you. And we'll take that with this area even into Pooler, and you can see it's working more to the northeast. So in the Rankin area by about 3:35, Berryville by about 3:46, and in the Deerfield area by about 3:48. And what that has is not severe, but certainly heavy rain and seeing some gusty winds associated with that as it moves into parts of Effingham County. So if you're watching there, Georgia 30 into Georgia 21, 17, this is where the rain will be moving into Rankin and eventually up towards the Springfield area as well. Nothing warned as of right now with that cell, but we still got some more heavier stuff right along Georgia 119, heading out of the Hinesville area, northern areas of Fort Stewart. That's approaching the Pembroke region. So Pembroke, you're seeing more rain and heavier stuff is on the way. Midway, getting some moderate showers right now, but it's this area in red which we're watching into parts of central areas of the McIntosh County region, Darien, right along I-95 into the Highway 17 area. That is continuing to make its way out to the north. We'll put a tracker on that as well.
I'm just looking to see.
And heading out to the north and northeast, you see into the Midway area by about 3:37, and it says Port Royal by about 3:52, but I think it's going to be a little bit longer before that if it holds together. But this is where that area is moving more to the north. We'll put a little loop on that, and you can see that track heading right along the I-95 area, heading out to the north-northeast as it continues to track pretty quickly from the southwest out to the north-northeast. So these are going to be fast-moving storms. Thankfully, as we put the alerts on this.
My boyfriend is in Brunswick right now. What's going on with the tornado warning? Ava, the tornado warning is expired, so that's good news.
That is
and we have
definitely
not
good news.
gotten any reports. I mean, it's very early. It expired maybe 5 minutes ago. We've not gotten any reports of any damage in that area, so good news there. Cynthia, Bullock, Rincon. Oh, okay. Well, we just did Rincon. Hail in Brunswick. Is that, Teresa, you saw some hail? Did you get any pictures? Picking up a little Springfield, starting to hear thunder. Yeah, so that's coming in from the south. You're hearing that all the way from the Pinora area, actually, Erika. And that'll be moving into your neck of the woods pretty soon.
And again, just to reiterate, we have the only warning we have across the area is for Glenn County. That's a severe thunderstorm warning going through 4:15 this afternoon. So it still goes for another 45 minutes. But I think that bulk of the activity, once we put the radar on there, will be moving through that area here. But there's more coming out of Camden County, which is also going to be making its way through the region as well. So this has been moving very fast here from basically south to north. And that warned storm has weakened, thankfully, into the Brunswick area. So St. Simons Island, you're just now getting into some of the heavy rain, but you can see just down to your south, look at that stuff will be moving out of Camden County into Glenn County here. So keep your guard up, especially east of Interstate 95.
Megan wants to know, is she okay to leave Brunswick and head to Jessup? And it's raining pretty hard. It's your comfort level, basically, at this point. It's a severe thunderstorm warning in that vicinity. I don't know the rain rate, but it's coming down pretty heavily.
Yeah, the severe thunderstorm warning is for areas east of 17 right now. So if you're watching, if you're over in Brunswick area, closer to the I-95 region, I think you're going to be no warned cell with that, but certainly you see a lot of the oranges and reds and yellows. That's indicating heavier rain as you continue to travel out over towards on 25, getting into the Jessup area. A lot of heavy rain even extending into Jessup. Once you get past Jessup, that's where we get into more lighter showers, getting over along 341 into the Baxley area.
Thunder and Pooler, thank you so much for that update. How is it in Beaufort? Beaufort hasn't really seen anything all day.
Beaufort County has been pretty quiet here and continue to be. We'll show you that.
Is that going to move up 95 or is it going to kind of
put this in a little loop for you?
Yeah.
This stuff here is working out almost parallel to Interstate 95,
pretty
so a
quiet
little bit more north-northeast. So Sheldon, Ridgeland, into the Hardeeville area, you have a better chance for seeing the showers in the next 45 minutes, but we're still looking at this activity here coming out of Georgia, which is working its way out towards the east-northeast. Will eventually get into your region. We don't have any warned stuff out there, but certainly at any time we can see any of these storms as they approach with some gusty winds, heavy rain, and maybe some small hail embedded in there as well. And an isolated tornado still can't be ruled out. We have the tornado watch still into effect.
So these storms will continue to kind of roll 95 from the southwest into the northeast area. So people wondered about Savannah and 95 Bloomingdale, Pooler. Can I get ready for church in Savannah? You know, we're not under a warning, but these are strong storms.
Yeah, and they're just basically along and west of Interstate 95. So a lot of Chatham County, including Savannah, any of the islands into Beaufort County, haven't seen much in the way of any activity. Now you're hearing the thunder.
Sarah says it's not even raining in my place.
No, not yet. You must be east of 95. But look at just to your west. I'm sure there's a lot of dark clouds out there, and we're seeing a lot of that activity, which will eventually start to get into the region as crossing 95 finally into Glenn County and now in McIntosh County, and slowly it'll make its way here areas north of the Altamaha River.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap it up, and if you guys have any more specific questions, you know, we're going to be here. Ron Wallace is here. He's been making videos for the First Alert app, and we can take any questions on our page, WTOC Dave Turley, WTOC Jamie Ertl.
Let's show you that first, if we can. We can pull up the First Alert weather app and show you what we want you to make sure that you know as we have apps, First Alert weather app. When you pull that up, what we have is videos right at the top of the app, and we can actually get an update on what's going on. There they are. I posted a video here probably about 25 minutes to a half hour ago. There's another videos of Ron, and then another one I posted earlier, a couple of them earlier. So that's getting some more updated information. You scroll down, you got that live radar on there. That's a great way to see what's going on if you're ever away from your computer desk, and you can see what's going on with the radar. And of course, you continue to scroll down where you see that video, watch live. Anytime we are in a either a newscast or wall-to-wall scenario when we're live on air, or if we're doing these what we call streaming live events, this is where you can watch us live on the First Alert Weather app, WTOC Facebook page, our Roku app, or on our Amazon Fire TV. 4 ways that we can also get that information out to everybody to help keep you updated on what's going on with the weather. So as Jamie mentioned, we're going to be wrapping this up right now. We're going to be here if you have any questions. You can answer or ask those on our WTOC Facebook page. The only way you can actually ask us questions to kind of engage with back-to-back questions and answers. Until then, we'll be leaving you right now here on the streaming live. But if we have any more warnings, we're going to break into programming. And, of course, we'll have another update here on these 4 platforms on our streaming live event. That'll be coming up probably within the next 45 minutes unless it warrants something to go on sooner. So have yourself a good Sunday afternoon and keep updated on the weather.